Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I am reacting to an old video. So, a little while ago, Lala on her channel reacted to her author shame video that she did a few years back, and I was trying to remember if I ever did one of those videos. And I did. The first year of my channel, I made a video about authors I need to read, and I do not remember at all what I talked about in that video. So, we are going to react to it together. I'm going to watch the video, and you are going to watch it along with me, and we're going to find out if I've actually completed any of the challenges that I set for myself in 2015. I don't usually go back and watch videos this old of myself because it makes me really uptight. I don't think I had nearly figured out how to talk to a camera well enough yet, but we're gonna go for it and find out what books I said I was going to read, if I read them, and if I still want to read them. Plus, that means I can update with a new authors I need to read video, and that'll be kind of fun. So look for that later on this month. Okay, got the video set. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I am going to talk to you about authors that I have not read yet, but gosh golly do I need to. So of course there are a lot of authors in the world. Not everybody can read every author, but there are a few authors that I consider it a bad thing personally for me that I have not yet gotten to any of their books.
I filmed this when I was living in London. This is my apartment in London, or my flat in London.
Books and don't know why it hasn't happened yet, really.
I still own both of these shirts, by the way.
Of authors that I've never read anything by, and I don't know why, and I need to fix it as soon as possible.
7 authors.
So, yeah, let's talk about those. So first up, I want to talk about Khaled Hosseini, I believe. Really?
That's a no. I have not read any books by Khaled Hosseini. I think I had this author on my TBR specifically because my mom and my grandmother read a lot of his books. But like, I'll be honest, I've gone back through and I don't really want to read any of them. I think it's really funny that I thought that this was a necessity in 2015.
Sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly.
Oh,
I've really
apologies
wanted to
for
read
names.
his books for a number of years. Some of them come really highly recommended by my mother and my grandmother.
What did I say?
Trade books a lot. So I really want to read some of his books because of that. But also I think that some of them just come as really highly recommended books in general. So
I hated the way I talk to a camera.
My TBR for Khaled Hosseini are A Thousand Splendid Suns and The Kite Runner. I just
haven't read either.
I really wanted to read
Don't
both,
really want to read both.
I'm really
anymore.
going to love. And I just
are my nails
like
painted?
really good books. And I don't know why I haven't read any of his books yet because I have really easy access to both of these. So it's really strange that I haven't read either of them yet. Next, I would like to talk about Melinda Lowe.
Hey! Okay, I have read books by Melinda Lowe. I've specifically read Ash, which is a Cinderella retelling that I liked. I thought it was interesting. It wasn't my favorite book. I think it's like classic queer YA, but you know, it's written like a folktale. It's kind of interesting. I also read, what was the name of her thriller from a few years ago or last year? Literally at this point, I don't even remember what it was called anymore. I'll put a picture up there. I read that one and I didn't like it. I thought that the twists weren't very good. This was actually, I think, the book I read that made me say that I would not read YA thrillers anymore. It wasn't anything specifically bad about this book. It was just like it had the same problems as a lot of other YA thrillers. And after that, I was like, no more. But I did like Ash, and I'm still planning on reading more of Melinda Lowe's books. I have one of her 2019 releases on my TBR. I think I also still really want to read Adaptation. But yes, check. I have completed this author. Also, can we take a minute and look at what I look like in this video and think about the fact that at this time, I didn't think I was out on YouTube. Like, I never talked about my sexuality on YouTube, but I considered myself in the closet while looking like this in regular videos. Just saying.
It's kind of weird that I haven't read any Melinda Lowe yet. She has some really famous fairy tale retellings, which is a subgenre I adore, so that's weird. And also, her fairy tale retellings are LGBTQIA.
I wouldn't say queer.
I don't understand why I haven't gotten to them yet. I have a couple on my list, and I really want to get to them, and I know that, at the very least, Ash is always available at my library, so
Read it from
I
my
might read that
library.
over Christmas break. When I get home, I'm gonna go pick up Ash and read it. Because
I probably did read that over Christmas break. That's probably accurate.
But the other one that I want to read by her is Adaptation, because I have heard some very interesting things about adaptation that have made me really curious. So, yeah, I don't know. I really need to read Melinda Lowe. The third author that I would like to talk about is someone I'm probably going to get to sooner rather than later, since I already own one of her books with me here on my Kindle, and that person is Morgan Matson.
Okay. Morgan Matson is definitely a check. I did complete one of her books while I was living abroad. I think I read Since You've Been Gone. I had it as an ebook. I bought it as an ebook to take with me while I was living in London. But since then, I've also read Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, which I liked enough that I actually purchased a copy. I didn't really, for hell's sake, I didn't really like Since You've Been Gone enough to buy my own copy, but I did really, really love this book. So definitely checked off Morgan Matson. Though I'll be honest, I don't really want to read any more of her books. They are very heterosexual YA. I don't really have any more of her books on my TBR, but I have read 2 of her books. And I really liked one, and I thought the other was okay. Okay.
And what interests me about Morgan Matson, because I don't love YA contemporary, what interests me is that I've heard that some of her books don't fall into a lot of YA.
Sorry, I want to say, when I said in this video, I don't love YA contemporary, what I was avoiding saying was I don't love heterosexual YA contemporary. I didn't want to say that because, like I said, I wasn't, officially out on my channel, and I didn't want to get hate for saying that I didn't like heterosexual YA, and I also didn't want anyone who watched my channel to think I might be queer if I said that, so my go-to was saying I don't like YA contemporary, but I do. I just like queer YA contemporary. Just to clarify on Past CC.
YA contemporary tropes sometimes that they all fall into. I don't know, this is just kind of what I've heard. But the 2 books that I want to read most by her are Amy and Roger's Epic Detour. I've heard some really good things about this one, but the one that I have with me is Since You've Been Gone. Which I've heard really excellent things about.
Exactly what I thought.
I loved this book when it came out, so I'm really curious about it, and
that London sun making an appearance in the background.
Next up, I would like to talk about an author that I don't think really gets that much recognition here on BookTube, but I know that Lala over at Books and Lala has read a couple of books
Lala mentioned.
and has recommended them, and I am personally really interested in reading some books by her, and that is Leigh Bardugo. I really want to read.
Oh, okay. So, Leigh Bardugo, this is before Elliot Wake was out as trans. He was still going by the name Leigh Bardugo, which he still considers like a pseudonym that he wrote under. But at this point in time, Leigh Bardugo was still the name that author was going by. I've read one book by Elliot Wake, and that is Black Iris, which I absolutely hated. I absolutely hated it. And it made me never want to read another one of Elliot Wake's books. Like, that was the extent to which I didn't like Black Iris. I hate the writing of that book a lot. I know that I'm in the minority on that, especially in terms of other queer women readers and other people who read thrillers. I just could not stand it, and I thought that it was all really over the top. I thought maybe I would read Elliot's book that came out a couple of years ago that was about a trans guy, because Elliot had recently come out as trans. I was also working for his agency at the time, his literary agency. If you don't know, I worked for a literary agency for 6 months. I worked for Elliot Wake's literary agency. So I thought I would read more, but then that book got really negative reviews, so I didn't read it either. So check. I also think it's hysterical that I mentioned Lala in this video. Like, way to be the same for 3 years. Still watching the same booktubers, still loving the same stuff.
I want to read her books. They just sound really interesting and kind of different. So the books that I would like to read by her are, of course, Black Iris, but also one of her books that comes out some point this month. Has it already come out? It might have already come out, and that is Cam Girl.
Oh, that's right.
I'm more excited about Cam Girl, and I'm really interested to see what the deal is with this book, because I have not heard a ton about Leigh Bardugo in general, but I don't know.
It's because Elliot Wake is popular in queer circles of the internet, and I wasn't as involved yet.
What I'd like to talk about is a bit ridiculous that I haven't read any of his books. it just seems a bit absurd because everyone has read books
Patrick
by
Ness.
Andrew Smith.
Oh, Andrew Smith.
But I haven't.
No. Okay, this is dating my video. It's because we were all under this weird idea in 2015 that he was a great author, and for some reason no one had pointed out how deeply problematic Winger was yet. I wanted to read Andrew Smith because I heard he wrote gay YA. Like, that is the thing that I'd heard through the grapevine, and what I won't talk about in this video, but that is definitely why he was on my list. He's written really problematic books. Especially Winger, is, like, deeply problematic, and I officially removed any books on my TBR by Andrew Smith probably only a few months after this video. So, no, haven't read any of Andrew Smith's books.
Because I want to read a lot of his books. I really want to read Winger. Obviously, that's the most famous one. I think that's the one that people most often recommend. I've heard really good things about 100 Sideways Miles, and I've heard some very weird things, but also some good things about Grasshopper Jungle. It's possibly the one I'm most excited about, even though it sounds weird as hell. But Andrew Smith just gets...
I said hell. That was really out there for me.
General.
I wouldn't swear that much in the early years of my channel. I still don't swear that much, but like,
so strange.
I definitely didn't swear then.
I really want to get to these books. I really want to see what Andrew Smith is all about. The second to last person that I'm going to talk about is Marissa Meyer, of course.
I have read books by Marissa Meyer. I read the first 3 books in the series. Why can't I remember what it's called? The Lunar Chronicles. I read Cinder, Scarlet, and Cress. I liked Cinder, I liked Scarlet, I loved Cress, and then I owned Winter, and I just let the entire series sit on my shelf for 2 years, and I never completed the series. So I recently actually got rid of all 4 of the Lunar Chronicles books. I just decided I wasn't that invested in the series anymore, but I have read books by Marissa Meyer now, so pass Cece, you did it.
This will be a big hit in this month of November because, of course, Winter just came out.
Oh, Winter just came out.
Which has been a huge deal, and I haven't read a single one of them, which is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous that I haven't read them yet. That's the only way to put it. I have Cinder here with me, and hopefully
I did read it as an ebook first.
I don't know if I'll have a chance to read it this month, but if not, I probably want to read it next month, is my plan. So I definitely want to read Cinder. The Lunar Chronicles is so hyped. Everyone loves
it. Really is, like, the most hyped.
I mean, of course,
it's kind of faded out now, though.
It's such a huge series, and I really want to get to it. I know that.
Oh, except for the new graphic novels.
Vagrant, loves
Vagrant shout out.
Series,
oh,
and so
it's been a bit.
I really want to read them. I really want to, and soon I will. And the final author that I'm going to talk about is also fairly relevant because one of her books also just came out in the recent months, and that is Leigh Bardugo.
Ha ha! I have read books by Leigh Bardugo. We're set there. So, at the time of filming this, I would bet you that I had an ebook, or maybe I owned a physical book, or maybe I was about to get a physical book of the first book in the Grisha trilogy, which I read and I didn't like. I did not like Shadow and Bone. I thought it was really generic. I didn't care about the main character, and I put Leigh Bardugo aside for a while until everyone finally convinced me to read Six of Crows, and I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I read Six of Crows last year, I read Crooked Kingdom earlier this year, and I rated them both super highly. I think I gave Six of Crows 4 stars, I gave Crooked Kingdom 5 stars. Like, I loved those books, and I'm really excited about one of her new books that's coming out in 2019, I believe. I think it's called Ninth House. It is something outside of the Grishaverse, and I've pretty much read all I want to in the Grishaverse. I don't really want to read the new series that's set there, but Ninth House sounds so fascinating and interesting, especially for how Leigh Bardugo writes. I did it. Okay, I completed that one. Let's see what I have to say for the rest of this video. I think it's really interesting, the mannerisms that I've kept over the 3 years that I've had this channel, and the mannerisms that have gone to the wayside. Also, how much more comfortable I am talking to a camera now than I was then. I did not know how to talk to a camera.
I have not read anything by Leigh Bardugo, but I intend to. Leigh Bardugo is the author of the Grisha trilogy, of course, as well as the new book Six of Crows, which I know takes place in the Grisha universe. And everyone loves it. like, everyone. I haven't heard a bad review yet. I'm sure they're out there, but to be honest, everyone seems to just be worshiping this book. I want to read it. It's a book about a group of criminals, and there's a con involved, and that's like my favorite thing in the world. So at this point, my plan is to read the Grisha trilogy before I get to Six of Crows, which is going to be really hard because I really want to read Six of Crows. But I think it wasn't worth it. I think that she's up soon for me. The world sounds really interesting. The Grisha trilogy is a pretty big trilogy here on BookTube, and I'm really curious, and I'm really excited, and I know Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, like,
and a Thoughts on Tomes shout out. Wow, I was really dropping names of some booktubers.
Really.
Okay.
There you go. There's a list of authors.
Okay, so there were 7 total authors mentioned in that video. 2 I have since decided that I don't want to read their books at all. They've been removed from my TBRs. 1 for being problematic, 1 just because their books don't interest me. But the other 5 I completed! Hey, you know, it's really great when you plan a video and then you don't remember the goals you set for yourself and you still manage to accomplish some of those goals. Like, way to be. I've really done something special here for myself and my own personal track record. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for now. I thought this was super interesting, and I'm really interested in making my own new list now that accurately reflects what I want to read and my reading interests. Also one that's a little bit more open about the reasons I want to read certain books, because, like, I was hardcore not talking about the fact in that video that there were a bunch of books I wanted to read specifically because they were queer and specifically because I was queer and looking for other queer stories. Times certainly have changed. That's for sure. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Are there any other older videos that I did that you would like me to react to? Let me know if this is a thing you enjoyed down in the comments below, and maybe some videos that you would like me to bring back up again and watch again, because, like, it makes me super uncomfortable, but also I find it really interesting, so that's the give and take there. Are there any books on your must-read authors list that you just gotta get to? Let me know down in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!